Whoa! Hey nerds, how we doing? I know it's been a hot minute since I've had a chance to stop by and do one of these, but it doesn't mean that things haven't been on my mind. And so with the 40th anniversary 4 in a row Pulse reveal-y dealios, I thought it'd be a good chance to stop by and talk some robots. Now, admittedly, this first one was a little bit less of a reveal event and more of a reveal non-event. But fortuitously, around that big fizzle, we did actually get to see some stuff. So stay tuned after the jump and we'll talk robots. Don't you reckon with this one, you could tell that even the boys knew there was going to be a little bit of pushback? Because, you know, all credit to the New Zealand Mint for making some cool Transformer memorabilia. I don't think that's what anyone was expecting when they tuned in. Nor the apparel, nor the pins. Trading cards I'm a little interested in, but they didn't actually show us anything with that. And then, toy-wise, tacked on the end before they got the hell out of Dodge as quickly as they could, we just got to see, what, the 2 2-packs that we've already known about for a couple of weeks now? The Lightning Mayhem Attack Squad. So admittedly, like, Barrage does nothing for me. Chop Shop looks pretty cool. They almost look like better insects than what the actual Insecticons did, but admittedly, you know, the G1 versions of those guys looked a little bit more like bugs than the Insecticons did because of the whole Diaclone thing. That's a whole thing. Don't worry about that, but I don't know if I'm going to bother getting it. I'll be real. Maybe on clearance if that happens. Then they had a little like look and talk about Breakdown or Windsweeper or whatever the hell his name is, and you know how the whole deal is around the Forge of Solus Prime, how he's a little Minotaur hammer. I like the fiction they try and spin, but I don't know. That's not what I wanted from Breakdown. I wanted something different. I think he's a cool enough character and a big enough deal that he probably warranted his own mold. Like, it'd be nice if some of the Prime characters were their own molds. I guess Dreadwing and whatever the hell his brother's name is were. But still, more, right? Come on. And then they dipped. They were out. That was it. Like, Sharkus Bro catch. And hopefully, they kind of teased out that the next couple events might be a bigger deal. And they couldn't be less of a deal, right? That was nothing. The chat afterwards was like, wait, what? Was that it? Are they done? That was it? That's all they're doing? And, it was. But fortuitously, like I said at the top, we got to see some other biddies in, like, you know, the day leading up to it. To the point where, I don't know, I'm sure like a lot of you, I was sure the figures that got leaked via pictures, I assumed they were going to reveal then and there. And I'm surprised they didn't once they knew the leaks were out. But we got to see the Star Jammers. No. Star Seekers. No. Star Raiders. All repaints, we all knew that was going to happen. That's fine. Bit of a mixed bag for me. Like, I'm pretty sure I've got the original Cybertron Cannonball kicking around somewhere. Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, don't need this one. I'm not a huge fan of that mold. I don't need like another version. They've got the Red Alert head cooking clearly for a Cybertron Red Alert, so maybe I'll get that when that happens to go with Cybertron Prime, but also maybe not. And then I know Ferric is a big deal for people, but I don't know, the character means nothing to me, and the paint scheme for me doesn't work with the Cyclonus-y looking bot. That mold is too Cyclonus for me to accept that anyone else looks like that. He's too unique. Too much of an individual. What I will definitely pick up if I'm able is Lockdown and Filch. Lockdown, I was pretty confident from the beginning that he was going to be like a junkie on repack because the hand thing, right? As soon as there was a hook, you just sort of knew it was going to happen. But it is nice that there's a few resculpted, remolded pieces. The head looks exactly like the Dark of the Moon one, which is good because they're the same guy. I'm really hoping that he has an extendy neck so he's not so like, you know, squatting his shoulders. That would make a big difference for me. And then you can kind of tweak the legs a little bit to get a bit of that sort of, you know, chicken leg thing going on. But Lockdown's so sick that the character power is enough to make me triple dip on the mold at this point. I still haven't gotten around to opening Axel Grease. I really like Axel Grease, but I just haven't gotten to her yet. I can almost see a scenario where I end up opening Lockdown before Axel Grease. Because Lockdown is the bee's knees. Filch is one that I definitely want to pick up, because for me she looks different enough from their Air Razor mold, a mold which I quite liked in the first place, that I'm happy to double dip on that one. And I kind of liked how Mega Man-esque the bad guys were in that Robots in Disguise show, even if having the animal bot modes did kind of make it feel a little bit like the Autobots were kind of racist. And it was more of like a, you know, a race war than a war of ideologies. But let's not look at that too closely because it doesn't feel good. But the toy I'm very keen to get, and I will get if I can. The real exciting kind of leak, reveal, early release that we got comes out of like Chile with Cybertron Starscream. That figure was awesome, right? Like I got the Galaxy Force Japanese one, so it was the small Starscream. It's really cool to see a new version of that Starscream. He looks phenomenal. It looks like the articulation is going to be off chops, absolutely off bones. They've gone ham on that one, which I can appreciate as a man of ham. I just need it. I think it's a little bit strange the way the shoulder pieces come off. I'm hoping that that's not part of transformation. I guess it's kind of cool because you can put them on his wrists if you wanted to. I'd have preferred they just stayed there. But the look, the feel, the vibe, the articulation, everything that I want is there. He almost feels third party to me with the amount of surface detailing and the paint apps, and everything about that figure is screaming must have to me. I really cannot wait to get my hands on that figure. For those of us in Australia, there was a little bit of a scare, wasn't there, earlier in the week when the word came down that we weren't getting the second wave Voyagers. That's since been corrected. In case you only caught the first half of that news, we should be getting them, so whew! I think, in Australia at least, most of us are at a point where we import to be safe, right? It's too risky to rely on brick and mortar retail. And then, the only other thing that I kind of wanted to touch on that I haven't had a chance to talk about yet is the Robots in Disguise HasLab project, which, unfortunately, as much as I would like it, I've got the big boy over there from the first time round. It's not a big enough updating of what we already have to make it worthwhile getting in Australia personally. Because for whatever reason, Hasbro Australia decided to set the price at $750, which, if you kind of directly convert the US price, it shouldn't be much more than $500. So for whatever reason, they've decided to gouge the price on it that much. Unless an easy international pre-order pops up for him, I'm not getting him. And even if there is an international pre-order that I can manage to get, the shipping on it's going to be so fat that I may as well get it here. And they've kind of greedied themselves out of a purchase point. I'm not going to do it. I'd like to, but it's not going to happen. I hate to end on a downer, but that's where we're at. I think there was some kind of petition going around. Let's get that happening. It's insane to me that it's costing that much. It's unnecessary. So, collector woes aside, what do we think about what we got to see, the leaks, what's actually happening? Are we looking forward to the next 3 weeks of these Pulse events? They really need to up their game. In Australia, to watch it, I had to stay up past midnight to be able to cop that, and that was not worth the sleep lost to find out that there was going to be Transformers t-shirts. There's always Transformers t-shirts. Anyway, who do you plan on getting from the sneaky reveals? I want to know. Are you in the Lockdown's fine camp? Are you in the he needs to be his own purpose figure camp? I'm assuming we're all unilaterally enthused about Starscream. Hit me up. Let's get nerdy in the comments. Let's talk. Let's chat. Robots, right? We love them.